Greetings, we'll cover a few details about John Smeaton and his life in a succinct manner. Here is a short rundown of his early years, education, career, notable works, legacy, and demise. British civil engineer John Smeaton was in charge of creating lighthouses, canals, and bridges. He was a distinguished physicist, as well as a skilled mechanical engineer. Smeaton, who is frequently referred to as the founder of civil engineering, was the first self-described civil engineer. Using pebbles and powdered brick as aggregate, he invented the use of hydraulic lime in concrete. The Lunar Society was connected to Smeaton. Known as John Smeaton, famous as British civil engineer. Born June 8, 1724, Austhorpe, United Kingdom. Died October 28, 1792, Austhorpe, United Kingdom. Spouse, and Jenkinson. Awards: Copley Medal. Education: Leeds Grammar School. Nationality: British. He was born at Austhorpe, Leeds, England, on June 8, 1724. His father had a legal firm, and was a lawyer. He used to forge and cast hand tools when he was younger. He built a small wood-turning lathe and a steam engine that worked to successfully pump water from his father's pond. His father convinced him to join his law company when he was 16 years old. At his father's workplace, he began his legal education. 2 years later, as he prepared to formally enter the legal field, he made the decision to resign and follow his ambition of being an instrument builder instead. He began his own business in Great Turnstile, London, in 1748, armed with a working knowledge of science and toolmaking. Henry Hindley, a friend of his, guided him in understanding the craft of instrument manufacture. He created a mariner's compass in 1750, with Dr. Gowan Knight. It later became a standard issue for the Royal Navy. Along with the compass, he also created a prototype speedometer for ships, but it was inaccurate in rough seas. He relocated his business from Great Turnstile to a larger location in Furnivall in Court in 1751, where he managed 3 craftsmen. He carried out some successful experiments in 1752 that demonstrated his mastery of scientific and engineering skills in relation to the power of windmills and water wheels. He was chosen in 1756 to construct the new lighthouse at Eddystone Rocks, which are close to Plymouth, England. It was both his first and most well-known engineering endeavor. He wrote a paper in 1759 about watermills, which were the main source of power at the time. The Copley Award was given to his work. He demonstrated his mechanical engineering prowess by creating a water pressure engine in 1760 that later gave way to James Watt's steam engine. Additionally, he created a pyrometer to research material expansion. He oversaw the engineering for the building of numerous canals, bridges, and harbors throughout his professional career, including the Coldstream Bridge, Ripon Canal, Aberdeen Bridge, Peterhead Harbour, and the Forth and Clyde Canal in Scotland. In addition, he made contributions to the construction of 43 mills, with the Carron Company, Ironworks Mill in 1769, being his most notable. He constructed the first 5-sailed smock mill in Britain, the Chimney Mill, at Spittal Tongues in Newcastle upon Tyne, in 1782. Additionally, he is known for installing an air pump to the Edmund Halley diving bell, so that it could be used underwater. In 1771, he co-founded the Society of Civil Engineers, which was later renamed the Institution of Civil Engineers. He was a member of the Lunar Society. He carried out some tests between 1759 and 1782 that helped Gottfried Leibniz's theory of energy conservation gain support. But supporters of Isaac Newton disagreed with his discovery because they thought his formulation went against Newton's idea of momentum conservation. His work on the 1756 to 1759 construction of the lighthouse on Eddystone Rocks is among his most illustrious accomplishments. He was chosen to build a rigid lighthouse after storms destroyed the previous 2 of them, and he did it effectively. He invented a method employing dovetailed blocks of granite for its construction and was the first to use hydraulic lime for its stable foundation. He addressed the relationship between pressure and velocity for objects moving in air in a paper titled An Experimental Inquiry Concerning the Natural Powers of Water and Wind to Turn Mills and Other Machines Dependent on Circular Motion, published in 1759. His theories were later developed to create the Smeaton coefficient. In addition to being a co-founder of the Society of Civil Engineers in 1771, he also came up with the term civil engineers to set them apart from military engineers at the time. He was admitted as a Fellow of the Royal Society in 1753, as a result of his published papers on instrument construction. He received the Copley Award in 1759, in recognition of his outstanding work on the workings of water wheels and windmills. He was a co-founder of the Society of Civil Engineers, which was renamed the Smeatonian Society of Civil Engineers, in his honor in 1834. He created the Society of Civil Engineers in 1771, and made contributions to the Lunar Society, both of which earned him the respect of other engineers. To set them apart from military engineers, who graduated from the Royal Military Academy at Woolwich, he came up with the phrase civil engineers. The Society, which was founded in 1818 and served as a precursor to the Institution of Civil Engineers, changed its name to the Smeatonian Society of Civil Engineers in 1830. William Jessup, a canal engineer, and Benjamin Latrobe, an architect and engineer, were among his students. In his honor, Smeaton's coefficient was given to the groundbreaking proportionality constant that describes pressure as varying inversely as the square of velocity for objects moving through air. The Wright brothers utilized it in their quest to build the first successful heavier-than-air aircraft based on his theories and facts. Between 1860 and 1894, Smeaton's Eddystone Lighthouse was depicted behind Britannia, on the reverse side of the old penny piece. The Stevenson stained glass window, created by William Wales and unveiled at Westminster Abbey in 1862, features 6 civil engineers, including Smeaton. Noel Ordman, president of the Smeatonian Society of Civil Engineers, presented a memorial stone honoring Smeaton himself in the Abbey on November 7, 1994. After Smeaton, the Pendos Fields development in Austhorpe is home to the secondary school known as John Smeaton Academy. At the University of Plymouth, the Mathematics and Technology Department is situated in a structure that bears his name. In 2008, the last section of the Leeds Inner Ring Road was completed, and a viaduct was named in his honor. In 2003's Human Accomplishment, the Pursuit of Excellence in the Arts and Sciences, 800 BC to 1950, Smeaton was listed as one of the top 10 technological inventors. The indie rock band Kaiser Chiefs, who are from Leeds, mention him in the song "I Predict a Riot" as a representation of a more honorable and tranquil period in Leeds history and in reference to a junior schoolhouse at Leeds Grammar School, which Leeds singer Ricky Wilson attended. Smeaton passed away on October 28, 1792, from a stroke he had while strolling in the garden of his family's home in Austhorpe. He was buried in the Whitkirk Parish Church in West Yorkshire. On the church's chancel wall is a memorial to him and his wife, that was built by his surviving daughters.